Our founder, Georges de Latour, was really a brilliant visionary and somebody that had this dream of making beautiful California wines at the turn of the 20th century. He was born and raised in France, was very much an innovator, and he knew when he set foot on this property in Rutherford that he had something special. In fact, when his wife first set foot on this ground that we now call home, the only thing she could think to say was, "Quel beau lieu," what a beautiful place. This beautiful place is Rutherford. So in the early 1900s, it was a relatively new and kind of uncharted winemaking territory. And of course, they didn't really even realize the potential that they had at that time. Georges de Latour changed all of that when he hired a young Russian enologist and disciple of Louis Pasteur named Andrei Teleschev. It was Andrei who really catapulted this wine-growing region to the world stage by introducing bold new winemaking techniques. He tasted through the 1936 vintage, which was phenomenal in quality, and he noticed very quickly that there was this unique and distinct characteristic that was unlike anything he had tasted before from any other wine-growing region around the world. He noted that one of the most intriguing things about the wine was this whiff of clean dirt with a high-toned note, almost like pencil shavings. He recognized it as the expression of a distinctive terroir, the very fragrance of Rutherford, which he later called Rutherford dust. The Georges de Latour Private Reserve is our flagship. It is our best expression of the Rutherford terroir that we can possibly make. With that first vintage of 1936, it completely changed the landscape of Napa Valley winemaking forever. Bam, you had a new standard of quality, a new bar, the bar was raised, and you had California's first cult Cabernet Sauvignon. And so one of the things that I am so excited to share is this Rutherford Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon. It's one of the most pure expressions of Rutherford dust and our unique Rutherford terroir that you can possibly have in a wine. The grapes that I use to make this wine all come from the Western Rutherford bench on our original properties of Beaulieu No. 1 and Beaulieu No. 2. Now, when I'm selecting the specific vineyard blocks and actually the specific vines that I'm going to use to harvest to make this wine, we are very, very, very careful about making sure that every single block that is picked has that powerful and distinct expression of Rutherford dust. When you open up this bottle, you're gonna get a burst of aromatic intensity, and it's going to scream Rutherford to you. It's gonna have this brooding, deep, dark fruit character, this almost forest floor element that is the very soil profile of Rutherford itself. Then, one of my favorite things about it is the unique texture that you'll experience. So it certainly has this cocoa powder texture and flavor profile. It hits you really on the mid-palate and falls into the finish. It's extremely broad, which allows you to really enjoy this wine early on if you want to, but also it has the power and the intensity to lay down and age for decades and decades.